Hey guys, Aaron here, and thanks for listening to Remake This Movie Right. We really appreciate everyone that has helped share the show with their friends throughout this first season. And as you may have noticed by the title, Season 1 is over. We have completed production on Season 1. All episodes have been released. Green Lantern was the last one. So we are currently in production of Season 2. But in the meantime, we didn't want to leave you completely hanging. So here is an assortment of every trailer that Wayne Henderson from MediaVoiceovers.com has done with us throughout this entire first season, from the beginning with Weird Science to Green Lantern, the last one. Everything is here, every single trailer, and Zack Parkerson, who has been on a couple episodes, stopped by to help me introduce each one. Hope you guys enjoy this as we get things ready for the next season. I mean, we're pretty excited. We've got several movies on tap for you guys, and you'll hear a couple hints to them throughout this episode. So I really hope you enjoy it. That's enough for me. If you've never actually listened to a full episode, this is a great sample of how everything ends up. Go back and listen to how each one of these were made. It's pretty fantastic. Some of the episodes are really fun, and I think it really gets the creative juices flowing. I hope you guys like it. It's time to wrap up Season 1, and I think we've already remade these movies right. Hello, my fellow cinematic architects, and welcome to Remake This Movie Right. We are a member of the Hollywood Outsider Network. Listen to episodes of Remake This Movie Right on iTunes, where reviews are appreciated, your podcast app of choice, or just visit the website at RemakeThisMovieRight.com. We are here to tell Hollywood how to remake this movie right. I am your host, Aaron Peterson, and joining me today is my co-host, Zachary Parkerson.
Hey, here for the grand finale.
Yes, this is the Season 1 ending. What do you call it? Season 1 wrap-up episode, I guess. So while we're waiting and producing a few more episodes for you for Season 2, we kind of wanted to take this time to go over the trailers. We're going to replay all of Wayne Henderson's fantastic trailers he's done for all the movies we've done this far. And we're going to determine if we actually would see these movies. Did we, Zach, in fact, remake these movies right?
There it is.
What do you think? Now, you've listened to them all, and you've only been on a couple of them, but what do you think? What are we going with? 70%? 60%?
I mean, even if the movies are terrible, Wayne's sultry tones are going to get you through any of these trailers.
Ooh, well played, sir. Well played. I hope he slips you that $5.
Hey, Wayne, don't forget.
Yeah, don't forget. Not Canadian.
Tired of the Monopoly check, man.
Okay, well, the first one, we're going to go in order. So if you've listened to the episodes, then you'll be familiar with these. But I really thought it was a lot of fun because I've actually just re-listened to all these in preparation for the show, and I forgot how fun some of these are. Like, some of these are really fun.
Some of these get a little over the top, I recall.
Possibly. The Gremlins goes a little over the top. There's a couple other ones. But
there may not be baboons involved in one of these movies.
There are baboons. Oh, man. But the first one is Weird Science. I don't know if you remember that, but that was the premiere episode, the very first episode we did of Remake This Movie Right, and we were still kind of trying to find our footing, so to speak. Man, I think it came out interesting. So
interesting is the word.
Let's hear the trailer first, and then we'll discuss A, would it actually be a good movie? Did we remake it right? And B, what were we thinking? So here we go. Here's the first trailer for Weird Science. From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intentions?
Later this summer, from Remade Right Productions comes the new film from visionary filmmaker Edgar Wright. Michael B. Jordan and Will Poulter star as Wyatt and Gary, two lovable losers in the small town of Sherman who just don't fit in. Sick of the rejection, Wyatt and Gary call on their own brand of supernatural science to bring to life the woman of their dreams in the form of Brooklyn Decker as Lisa. After she teaches them about love and copious amounts of sex next to Iron Man posters, she turns their lives upside down, infuriating Wyatt's older brother. Extremely older brother Chet, played by Danny McBride. Everything spirals out of control until the ecstasy-fueled conclusion at a glow-stick-heavy rave where our heroes are forced to shed their insecurity, man up, and save their fellow classmates from an onslaught of rabid baboons. That's right, rabid baboons. This is Weird Science. No buttons or flair were harmed during the making of this film.
Why is Danny McBride in this thing?
I don't know, but I think that was a cut. Brian used a cut in that episode and demanded that Danny McBride.
Much older brother.
All right, hindsight, and you might have heard us laughing like during the trailer play because we're playing these live. I think that's for a more natural reaction. If you want to hear the unalterated versions, be sure you can hear each episode on RemakeThisMovieRight.com. So what do you think? Would that be a good movie? I would see it.
Would you?
I would see it.
This is a real left turn at the third act when the baboons start coming.
Oh, man. Yeah. But it's a funny trailer. I love that.
I mean, Edgar Wright is perfect to direct Weird Science. Yeah.
And I think Oingo Boingo comes back. Has to happen.
I forgot that Robert Downey Jr. reference was a necessity, hence the having sex next to Iron Man posters.
Yeah, when I was re-listening to these and I heard that one, I had to remember. I'm like, wait, why are they having sex next to Iron Man? Oh, that's right. Robert Downey Jr.
Marvel Cinematic Universe, Weird Science.
All right. Well, you ready for the next one?
Oh, let's do it.
Oh, I love nostalgia. And speaking of nostalgia, we have Gremlins. Now, they just announced they are no longer doing a remake. They're doing a Gremlins 3. Well, I think like the Zach Galligan, was that his name? The kid from the first Gremlins, he said it. So I don't know if that really counts as...
What's he been up to?
Exactly. I don't know if that's an official statement. But we came up with our own remake. And I got to say, even though it's a little off kilter, I kind of like it. But here's our remake. Listen to the trailer for Gremlins.
From the director of Wanted, Timur Bekmambetov, comes a retelling of an American classic. But this time, the rules have changed. Randall Peltzer is a struggling inventor from Kingston Falls, USA. A regular guy who needs a break. It finally comes in the form of his latest invention, a lightweight, timber-shredding chainsaw. To make the sale, though, he is forced to travel to the farthest reaches of Russia. What better way to make up for all those previously canceled trips than to take the family with him, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. While showing off his supercharged chainsaw to local lumberjacks, Peltzer hears the story of a mysterious mogwai that lives in the nearby hills, a creature with the face of a puppy and the voice of an angel. Wanting to make up for their disastrous family vacation in Soviet territory, Peltzer makes a fateful choice and steals a mogwai for his daughter Kate. Unfortunately for everyone, especially the malicious Mrs. Deagle, Kate's boyfriend Billy is along for the trip, and he's not very good at remembering these 3 simple mogwai rules. Keep them out of the light. Never get them wet. And most importantly, never, ever bring them near Bluetooth signals. Disobeying these rules can cause the mogwai to replicate at an alarming rate. As Billy is hunted, he is forced to team up with Kate and her dad to face the herd of vicious, yet adorable, beasts now destroying the Russian countryside. The family that brought death to Russia just might be the country's only hope. This Halloween, join Bryan Cranston, Jamie Alexander, Anton Yelchin, and Lily Tomlin for a modern reinvention of the Joe Dante classic. They're cute. They're mischievous. They're gremlins.
You gotta commend Wayne on his vocal choices sometimes. You know what I mean?
He'll read through just about anything, won't he?
You kind of feel bad for him when the trailer's over. Like, this poor guy, he's so much better than this.
Gotta sell a chainsaw in Russia.
Oh, and Lily Tomlin, he gave that a little show buzz oomph at the end there. And Lily Tomlin. And I love...
Anton Yelchin is perfect for that kind of movie, though.
It is. He is, yeah. And I want to, before we move on, kudos to the Russia for throwing that little Russia on there, because I couldn't do that if you paid me.
He's rolling those R's.
Exactly. So what do you think? Would you see that movie or hell no?
you put Bryan Cranston and Anton Yelchin in, I don't have a choice. I would be wondering the entire movie, like, how are they keeping it away from Bluetooth signals? Those things are everywhere.
I don't know why we did that. I
You
gotta
couldn't
go.
cross the sidewalk without hitting a Bluetooth
I
signal.
gotta re-watch or re-listen to that episode because I honestly don't remember why we did Bluetooth. But I feel really bad that Wayne had to sell that.
It was rule number 3. He had a pause before it too. He's like, "What? What am I? What?"
Why are they doing? All right, fine. Russia and Lily Tomlin. Oh man. All right. Well, maybe we wouldn't see that movie, but it would be fun to. Well, it'd be fun to watch. It would just be sad, kind of, probably at the end.
I would love to sit in the room where Timur Bekmambetov is convincing Bryan Cranston to do this movie.
Money, man. It's all about money. He's like, I know you're an award-winning actor, but we got this Russian Gremlins movie. Oh, I'm in. My career's like Hoyt Axton. Sure.
You say Russian?
All right, well, that brings us to the next one, and that's Jumanji, which is actually getting a remake this Christmas, 2016. The remake is coming. Now,
Are they using your script?
They are not. I'm hoping for story credit. I don't know if it's coming.
Like a consultant, at least,
You would think. And you know how memorable this episode is? I was literally just talking to Scott Clark, who guested on that episode. He didn't even remember doing it. So we had this. He's like, really? We did Jumanji? I'm like, yeah, you were on the episode, Scott. Really? Oh, that's interesting. So
like a real Scott thought process.
it is. So here's the trailer for Jumanji, the movie that's so memorable, the guy that was on the episode can't even remember doing it. Here's the trailer.
In a world where Alan Parrish has it all, friends, money, status, everything except what he needs most, his father's respect and adoration. Late one night, while he waits yet again for his father to finish slaving away at his lavish technical facility, Alan gathers his closest friends, Sarah and Carl, to help him pass the time. Boredom gives way to curiosity as the trio stumble across a curious antique board game that promises an adventure these kids will never forget. What begins as something magical quickly turns deadly as Alan and friends realize the magnitude and unfortunate consequences of what they have just unleashed. Stampedes, monkeys, cheetahs, lions, spiders, scorpions, the entire jungle comes to life in visionary filmmaker Guillermo del Toro's Jumanji, the first in a planned trilogy revolving around the most exciting board game you never want to play. Join Andrew Lincoln, Asa Butterfield, Elle Fanning, and the Hunger Games' Amandla Stenberg as they band together in an attempt to fend off nature's deadliest predators in a race against time to, you guessed it, to save their town from certain destruction. The pieces are in place. The stakes are real. This Thanksgiving, the game comes alive. Jumanji.
A trilogy, huh?
Yeah, I remember that. That was actually really good.
It's a lofty expectation.
And Del Toro with Andrew Lincoln, it seems like it might be going a little sadistic. I'm just saying, there could be some blood.
I love when Wayne rattles off names at the end. I got no idea what he's talking about. Like Amanda Schlerling from The Hunger Games. I don't know.
Poor guy. He's just doing what we ask. It's not his fault. He's just trying to sell it.
Suffering in silence.
Yeah,
that movie sounds solid though.
That one sounds cool. Yeah. I actually
Del Toro making a Jumanji film. That sounds amazing.
The trilogy aspect, if you go back and listen to that episode, I thought was really cool. It was actually very, very cool.
I can't really remember anything about it.
It was brilliant. That's what.
I see that. I was doing a Scott reference, because he doesn't remember.
I see. You connecting the. All right, I got you.
Yeah.
I got
It's
you.
comedy. It's a thing we learn about. It's okay.
Put it in a book somewhere. Well, we're getting closer to one, probably one of my favorite ones. But for right now, this one was hard. War Games is a hard movie to crack, and I think it was a really entertaining episode. We had to take it a little bit more serious, and I think we came up with a movie that works. Now, do you remember? Did you ever see the original War Games?
No.
With Matthew Broderick, because it's from 1983. Very, very old movie.
Too many years ago.
Too many years ago. Yeah.
Wasn't even a glimmer in anybody's eye at that point.
All right, youngin. Well, here's the trailer that we came up with for the remake, the reinvention of War Games. It's very serious.
In a world ruled by technology, one woman has unwittingly set in motion a game that could end us all. Besieged by envy and a perceived slight for over 30 years, Malvin just wants to make the world pay. Enlisting Jenny, a brilliant programmer, Malvin puts the pieces in place for a global cyber meltdown, putting China directly in our crosshairs. Upon discovering Malvin's manipulation and attracting the attention of the full force of the United States military, led by Colonel McKittrick, Jenny and her boyfriend David set off to win a game we are all destined to lose. This winter, director Doug Liman shows you a horrifying vision of our world to come. Join Amy Tiergarten, Dylan O'Brien, Tim Robbins, and Guy Pearce as they race against time to save mankind. The board is set, and the pieces are in place. This is not child's play. This is War Games.
Ooh, such strong music there.
Hey, man, that sounds like a solid film.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wait, we got one. Yay.
Who remade that with you guys?
That was Troy and Brian, I think, on that episode.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, no, I want to watch Dylan O'Brien act with his face and anything.
He's a really good actor.
He's
And
going places, man.
He's a Maze Runner and Teen Wolf, right? You a big Teen Wolf fan, are you?
No. Can't say I am.
That's a lie.
Somehow MTV's drama slipped me by.
The next movie that is coming around is Tomb Raider. Now, this is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is like your favorite video game or one of your favorite video games or something?
There's no franchise dear to my heart.
Okay. Well, do you remember this episode?
I remember it was recorded live.
It was recorded live, yes. Scott Clark, Troy Heinrichs, and I did a live reading, if you will, of Tomb Raider. We actually did it in front of a live audience, and it was hella fun. And we let the audience vote on several things, including director and star. And I think that'll pretty much explain everything. So here's the trailer for the absolute remake that will never happen in a million years, Tomb Raider.
Get ready, as a hero for the ages finally returns. Lara Croft is back, baby. Adrienne Pilecki picks up the guns and lunges into action as Laura races around the globe on a quest to find the missing pieces of the legendary Excalibur sword before her arch-nemesis, in the guise of Samuel L. Jackson, can stop her. Forget the cheese of those earlier films. This is a Lara Croft for a new era. Action, suspense, actual tomb raiding. Everything you loved about the game is here and brought to you by the one and only director that can do Laura justice. Kill Bill director Quentin Tarantino. What, you say? Say what one more time? This is the Lara Croft adventure we've all been waiting for. Next summer, Remake Pictures reinvents a legend with Tomb Raider.
That'll never happen.
Tarantino.
Yeah, rated R Tomb Raider. There'd be so many F-bombs.
It'd be a real chatty action movie.
Oh, man. She'd take her guns out and then want to have a conversation as she laid them on the table.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson is a villain. That's not a bad idea.
As long as there's no lisp, I think
but
we're good.
Tarantino's going to give him a 40-page monologue in the middle of the movie that won't serve anything.
I want to give Wayne special props because he actually has never seen Pulp Fiction. So when I put the reference to say what one more time, Samuel L. Jackson's speech in Pulp Fiction, he didn't know what the hell I was talking about. So he
was
had
probably confused why Quentin Tarantino was directing.
That was an audience vote. That was a vote. And that's what happens when you do it with live audience. People just want crazy stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Adrienne Pilecki was picked because she was cuter than everybody else we referenced. True story.
I mean, what better reason is there?
I can't think of one. I mean, there's no argument, really. Good call.
Real quick, Wayne, I love you, but her name is Laura, not Laura.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
boy.
So, you know.
Oh.
It's a slight correction. I just want to correct it before anyone else does. I'm just doing you a favor.
All right. Well, Now we come to the movie that should have been remade. They should have used our idea because the movie that just came out of Point Break was garbage. Hot, sticky garbage. And this is what happens when you don't listen.
I don't remember what your movie is, but it couldn't be any worse.
It's Point Break.
No, I don't remember what your take on it was.
Oh,
I'm
well,
about to be reminded.
You're about to be reminded. You ready for about a minute and a half for reminder?
Let's do it.
All right. Utah, give me 2.
2 Utah. 2.
In a world consumed by greed and ruled by company men, one man is leading his crew on a crusade to take the system on, one CEO at a time. When the FBI is brought in to bring this band of merry thieves down, Agent Pappas takes rising star Johnny Utah with him, going deep undercover to get close to Bodie, the seemingly tranquil soul surfer behind it all. Seduced by Bodie's worldly charms, Utah quickly gets in over his head as he fights to remember which side of the law is he even on. Forget that cheesy flick of the 90s and join director Justin Lin for a freshly energized vision. Starring Zac Efron, Terry Crews, Zoe Kravitz, and Luke Arnold as Bodie. Wait, who's Luke Arnold? Doesn't matter. Join us for an amped up take on a cult classic. Next summer, Point Break.
So much better than the movie that just came out. It's so much better.
Until you got to that last cast member that I already forgot the name of. It sounded like a hell of a film.
Luke Arnold. That was Brian. I think he used a cut on that. He's like, oh, it's got to be Luke Arnold. And we're all like, who? Luke Arnold. He's this guy. He's in some pirate movie or something on Stars. Or Black Sails,
Was it
maybe?
Black Sails?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Nobody knows why. He just had to have him. So there you go.
Award for the most ridiculous cuts of the season immediately goes to Brian.
But I would definitely see that movie. Definitely would see that movie.
Zac Efron, Terry Crews, Zoe Kravitz. That's Justin
cool.
Lin directing. There's a film going on there.
Mm-hmm. It's better than what came out. I can promise you that.
They could have filmed an avalanche on Mount Everest and it would have been a better movie.
That's a good argument. All right, now comes to one of my favorite of all the trailers that we've done thus far. I find this one to be extremely fun. This is The Mummy.
In a world saturated with overpopulation and climate change, our history seems lost. Unfortunately for all of us, one man might have just found it. Deep below a North African megalopolis, Rick O'Connell has stumbled across the sarcophagus of the Egyptian pharaoh known as Imhotep. A strange mix of curiosity, coincidence, and of course poor decisions lead Rick to advertently reintroduce Imhotep's restless spirit back into our unsuspecting world. Enraged after being awakened from his ancient slumber, Imhotep sets off on a course to avenge his own tragic curse by targeting O'Connell and his family for extinction. As Imhotep grows stronger and his power begins to transform the country, threatening the lives of millions, it is left up to Rick himself to end the curse forever. Coming March 2017 to a tomb near you. Yeah. Universal Pictures invites you to yet another reimagining of their monster classic. Ian Somerhalder, Nathan Fillion, and Joe Manganiello join director Joel Edgerton on a thrilling ride determined to scarab you senseless. The Mummy.
Yeah, Scarab you senseless.
The music behind it was so intense. Wayne, he's giving it his all. And then he had to read, it'll scarab you senseless.
I love that. Shut up, I wrote that.
Oh, it shows.
Yep, it does. It definitely does. So what do you think? I think that actually sounds like a fun movie. And it was,
yeah, that sounds like a good reason to go to the box office in the summer.
man.
Nathan Fillion as Rick O'Connell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, after an ab roller.
Yeah, he's
obviously.
going to have to buy a treadmill.
He's going to have to decastle a little bit.
He's a little plump.
Yeah. A little bit. I mean, I'm sure he probably looks better than he seems like on the show. Maybe the camera adds 10 pounds or 50. So, poor guy. I love Nathan Fillion, but come on, man. Do some sit-ups.
Once you get comfy on that castle money.
Man, not enough squats in the world if you're getting rich. All right, well, the next one is an Arnold Schwarzenegger classic. It is Predator.
Was that your Schwarzenegger?
It's kind of my Schwarzenegger does, Jason Statham does, Van Damme.
I hear you have a good Stallone, but...
Yo, what are we going to do? Yeah, this is Predator. It's 1987 when this came out. Check this trailer out. I want to see this, yo.
It's not bad.
Deep in the South African jungle, two worlds are about to collide with a hunter not of this planet. Hunting a Mexican drug lord on the lam, a team of DEA agents toss jurisdiction and extradition treaties to the wind on their quest to bring the unseen prisoner home. Upon arriving at the scene of a massacre, our team finds only an innocent woman sparred from the carnage and a group of big game hunters clearly over their heads. Neither group trusts the other, but concerns are tossed aside once it becomes clear they are not alone in the jungle. As our collection of slack-jawed misfits are dispatched one by one, it becomes apparent our hunters have become the hunted. Survival of the fittest is now the name of the game, and someone or something is changing the rules. John Wick's Chad Stahelski reimagines Arnold Schwarzenegger's classic for a new audience. Join team members Anson Mount, Sullivan Stapleton, Idris Elba, Ron Perlman, Scott Kahn, Jackie Earl Haley, Charlotte Copley, and Penelope Cruz as they risk life and limb in a race to get to the chopper alive. You ain't got time to bleed, so get over here and witness a modern retelling of the 80s classic, Predator.
Yeah, every catchphrase from that movie was in that one trailer.
So you just throw one line after the other there. Schwarzenegger be not be proud.
I love that trailer.
No, I remember that episode pretty well. It was you guys had a cool movie idea going there.
I did, except for Penelope Cruz. I'm not a fan of that one.
Like, as the actress or as her character?
In general, just her in general. She just doesn't. She impressed me. Do you like Penelope Cruz?
I can barely even think of what she looks like. That's how forgettable she is.
She's a hot Latino.
I know who Penelope Cruz is.
Just
being facetious.
Just being clear.
He's utterly forgettable.
That's very good. Say get to the chopper. Do it.
Get to the chopper. Yeah.
Well done.
Arnold, I told you to leave my room.
Well done. Yeah, he's always just hanging out in your room. Are you the maid?
All
right. Well, the next one is the actual episode that got us spotlighted on AV Club, which is a huge website, one of the most popular websites in the world. So that was a huge plus for us. Really appreciate that. We're still very thankful and don't even understand how it happened, but we'll take it. And we appreciate those accolades. And now this is the trailer that got us that acclaim. Is that the word you want to use? We'll go with it. So. But this is the trailer for Pet Sematary, Stephen King's Pet Sematary.
Having had enough of city life, Dr. Lewis Creed decides to move his wife Rachel, their young children Ellie and Gage, and Rachel's little sister Zelda across the country to the sleepy little town of Ludlow, Maine. Their journey begins tranquil enough as they settle into a quieter world with their friendly neighbor Judd helping them adjust. Aside from the occasional train zipping by in the field behind them, the Creeds' new life is one of peace and joy, and then tragedy strikes. After Ellie's beloved cat Church is accidentally killed by a speeding train, Lewis innocently attempts to bury her pet where she may never know. Unfortunately, something wicked has led Lewis beyond those gates, a hidden place where the dead come back. Church's return to the living sparks Judd to finally reveal the true secrets of the burial ground that lies just beyond the pet cemetery. If you bury your own here, they will come home, but they will always come back wrong. When Gage is also tragically taken by those same mean train tracks, Lewis selfishly ignores Judd's warning and buries Gage in the dirt that no human was meant to lie in. At first, Gage returning seems like a godsend. Lewis's only son has been given a second chance. But this is no longer the Creed's baby boy. He knows things that he shouldn't. He's slowly becoming a vicious animal, and everyone in his path is now at risk. Sometimes life is pain. Sometimes loss is tragic. And sometimes dead is better. Next Halloween, pay your respects to Stephen King's Pet Sematary.
Creepy.
That really set the mood.
Yeah, I thought so. I like how he started off, all happy, and then it just got creepier and creepier as it went. Nice job.
He lulled me into a false sense of security. I was like, oh, this is going to be a cute little movie.
It's funny because that was Stephen King's Pet Sematary, and we're actually the next original episode, because we finally talked Wayne into actually doing one of these, and he and Troy joined me for Stephen King's It. So the very next original episode of Remake This Movie Right, coming out in a couple weeks, it's going to feature Wayne, and it's going to be Stephen King's It, which was one of your favorite movies, right? Or you liked it?
Sure, yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day. You've gotten over that day?
Sometimes you just got to leave things in the day. Like far, far back there.
Far, far back.
Oh, I'm sure Wayne will explain it all to you.
Well, the next trailer here is the first time you joined us. And that was, what movie was it?
It was Friday the 13th.
It was Friday the 13th. Oh, do you remember this multi-billion-dollar investment that we came up with?
They're really throwing all their weight behind this one.
I think it's still my favorite episode of all the remake ones just to do. It was just a lot of fun. Probably because we could be as ridiculous as we want with that property. Nobody cares.
I think it was a $300 million budget or something like that?
$600 million, wasn't it, or something? I don't remember. No, it was $300 million. Yeah, Meryl Streep got $150 million.
She deserves it.
Well, this is the trailer for the Friday the 13th movie that will never, ever, 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 ever happen, but should. Here's Friday the 13th.
In 1980, a freak kitchen accident that left a young boy scarred and mentally fractured forces Camp Crystal Lake to close its doors. They say time heals all wounds, and 15 years later, the camp owners decide it's time to reopen. Despite every warning against the camp's obvious death curse, a new group of victims, counselors, arrive for a season of sun, fun, and memories. Not this summer. Murder has come to Camp Crystal Lake as one by one, they each meet a grisly, untimely demise. With no cell phones, minimal survival skills, and a complete inability to run without falling down, Alice and her friends are forced to face an unseen butcher in the woods. The body count continues early next summer, so join Academy Award winner Meryl Streep, Castle guest star Sarah Butler, and your next director Adam Weingard for a vacation into darkness. Jason and his mother have finally come home. Mark the date. It's easy to remember. And say your prayers. This is Friday the 13th.
Castle guest star Sarah Butler.
Whose idea wasn't it yours?
No, that was Amanda's.
Oh, God.
She was building it up the entire episode. She had this perfect cast. She knew exactly the actor she needed in this movie.
That's right.
And then she dropped the bomb. Sarah Butler. Okay.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Oh, she was in an episode of Castle? Okay.
Great. She's so good in the Castle episode.
And I think she was, I Spit on Your Grave, right? She was on.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
she was in the first and third one because they didn't bring her back for part 2.
Yeah, 1 and 3. I'm sure she came back as a surprise to finish off the trilogy with all the unanswered questions of part 2.
So ridiculous. So ridiculous. But a fun episode.
Absolutely. Until you get to the Meryl Streep bomb, it sounds like a movie that could happen.
Yeah, and then you realize she's not going to do it. Do you think she would do it for $150 million legitimately, or do you think she'd honestly just be like, no?
Like, no. She thinks it's beneath her?
Yeah.
$150 million can really sway your mind.
Like your pride and dignity is really kind of tested with that kind of money.
Her resume is so stacked at this point. I think she can get away with. During the press tour, she'd probably be like, "Yeah, I did it for $150 million. Of course, I'm in that movie."
Mm-hmm. And you know what? It still won an Oscar for no reason whatsoever.
She would still get an Oscar.
She'd get nominated. She's like, she was so terrifying. What? It's
who wouldn't get an Oscar nod is Sarah Butler.
She would not. Poor Sarah Butler.
Sarah, if you're listening, I thought you were incredible in that episode of Castle.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, she was. Which episode? You don't know. You have no idea.
I saw you in that one scene when I was flipping the channels.
Okay, well, this trailer is probably my favorite of all the trailers we've done, and it's because of how it starts. Wayne he went for it in this trailer for Big Trouble in Little China, and I am very proud of him because he has to do something he didn't want to do, and he still did it, and he did it with authority. Oh wait, I forgot. I'm gonna actually allow Troy to reintroduce this trailer because he used so many puns. So here's Troy introducing the trailer for Big Trouble in Little China.
So we'll actually go ahead and present this in movie trailer form, brought to you by the vocal stylings of Wayne Henderson from MediaVoiceovers.com. So let's see if he can really shake the pillars of heaven with this week's trailer. Take it away.
Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot. Wait a minute. Sorry, guys. Wrong trailer. Okay, here it is. In a world split by cultures and divided by chaos, Jack Burton has come to pay his dues. Recruited by his best friend, Jack is tasked with fulfilling the prophecy that tells of retrieving 3 elements and a mysterious woman with green eyes, all needed to defeat the 3 storms and ultimately the vicious ancient Chinese evil known only as Lo Pan. It's all in the reflexes as Jack uses his ship to traverse the galaxy and fight through various martial arts styles in order to prove he's that hero that he keeps telling everyone he is. Everything you loved about the original has been reimagined by writer Joss Whedon and director Matthew Vaughn as an even more ridiculously unbelievable adventure in the stars. And this time, the winner takes all. Take a sip of that magic potion, prepare to see things no one else can see, and catch a ride on the Pork Chop Express with Chris Pine and Evangeline Lilly. We have to go back. We're about to cause some big frickin' trouble in Little China.
I love that trailer.
You made Wayne sing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, poor Wayne. He's done such a great job. MediaVoiceovers.com. If we haven't said it enough already this episode, MediaVoiceovers.com. Hire Wayne. He's a great voiceover artist. He's really committed to these silly trailers that don't make him any money. Don't make him any money.
If nothing else, he'll do whatever you send him.
I see what you did there, and I don't appreciate it. Well, we are down to the final 3, and one of them, the one we're doing next, is... Well, first I should ask, would you see Big Trouble in Little China?
Of course.
That movie, the one that was just mentioned.
Of course I would. Yeah, obviously the old movie is great, but that one sounds okay.
Okay. It sounds fantastic, you mean?
It sounds like it was remade right.
Okay. Nice. Well done. All right, well, the next one is Clue. Now, do you remember the movie Clue, the original movie Clue?
Mm-hmm. I remember you really, really kept singing this movie's praises during the episode.
A few times. And these guys that I was doing it with, I think it was Brian and Amanda, if I remember that episode, they weren't the biggest fans because they don't appreciate genius.
I love the original Clue movie.
There you go. High five through the internets. Now, a lot of people didn't realize that there was actually 2 trailers in that episode. The Clue episode actually had a bonus trailer. And it was right at the very, very end of the episode. So if you didn't listen to the entire thing, you didn't get it. And it was mine. It was my one and only attempt to replicate Wayne's vocal stylings. And when you hear it, I think you'll know why Wayne does these and not me.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Here we
So
go.
you're going to get to hear both of them back to back because I want to make sure everybody actually gets to hear the brilliance that was my rendering right after you hear the actual brilliance that was Wayne's rendering. So here's Clue, the trailers.
Six guests are summoned to the beachfront estate known as Hill House on the secluded shores of the Outer Banks, North Carolina. Lured by the promise of a stress-free weekend, they are soon to discover they are actually pawns in a game of mystery, deceit, and murder. As a hurricane approaches and the rope tightens on our guests, Peter Berg lights up the candlestick and cranks up the heat in the kitchen for his latest directorial entree as he brings everyone's favorite board game to life. What is Hill House? Why are bodies dropping like flies? Who is the twisted mind behind it all? And why are there always so many questions? Mysterious weapons, hidden passages, and a secret worth dying for all lead you to the answers you're seeking and the promise of an ending everyone will love. Miss Scarlet, Mr. Green, Mrs. Peacock, Colonel Mustard, Mrs. White, and Professor Plum. All of your favorites are here. So join us next year as we try to find out who's killing whom, and where, and with what. Only this time, the game is real. Clue.
Wait, are you still here? Oh man, I guess you're probably wanting something else. Well, I suppose, in true and fair Clue tradition, we should give an alternate trailer. Don't you think? I think we should. Well, you already heard Wayne's version of the events, so I think maybe it's time you heard what really happened. Take a listen to our alternate trailer for Clue. Good evening, and welcome to Hill House. My name is Wadsworth, and I'll be your butler on this little excursion. I was to entertain you all this evening, but unfortunately it seems that our festivities have come down with a horrible case of murder.
What do you mean, murder?
I mean murder. 6 guests were invited to Hill House this evening, and they each arrived amidst this terrible hurricane. 6 random guests who were assigned odd names like Miss Scarlet and Mrs. White, Mrs. Peacock, Professor Plum, Mr. Green, and even Colonel Mustard. What an odd name. This house is a virtual mansion of sorts. There are secret passages everywhere, and there seem to be weapons randomly scattered about, as though this were planned.
Wadsworth, am I right in thinking there is nobody else in this house?
No.
Then there is someone else in this house.
No, I'm sorry. I meant no meaning yes.
No meaning yes? Look, I want a straight answer. Is there someone else, or isn't there? Yes or no?
No?
No, there is, or no, there isn't?
No. So, I'm not sure what happened, but bodies have started dropping like flies. Now we are all trapped in this house with a killer. We're all scared, and now we're desperately trying to find out who's killing who, and where, and with what.
There's no need to shout.
I'm not shouting. Alright, I am. I'm shouting. Never mind. The point is, this feels like some sort of poppycock board game sprung to life. I'm terribly afraid that this may be the last time I speak to you, any of you. So please see if you can identify my killer. All you need is for me to deliver to you one single clue.
Da-da-da-da-da. I am your singing telegram.
So I think you know why Wayne does these.
Was that your British accent?
It was my British, Australian, Cockney, and Irish, and I don't know, just about every dialect I could think of is in there.
I wouldn't trust that butler at all.
Your English is a little better,
I'm doing what I can here, yeah.
jackass.
Ooh, wow, Wayne really knocked it out of the park, though. I'll tell you what.
Oh, it hurts. That hurts. Oh, man.
I know. I really like that you gave 2 different trailers.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. We're going to do a third one, but really after the second one, nobody needs to hear any more.
Yeah, the second one really just delivered everything you needed in one package.
So, what do you think about that movie?
I would love to see a remake of Clue.
Oh, I would. Now, would you want, because you weren't on that episode, I don't think, would you want a comedy version or would you want a more straight-laced thriller like I think we came up with?
I would want it more in the vein of the comedy stylings of the original.
Do you think it could be done today?
I mean, Psych did an entire episode that just remade it, right?
Yeah, that's true. Psych is genius, by the way. I missed that show. Oh.
Yeah. Well, the episode certainly was.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it could be done. I don't think it could be. You're not going to get a $300 million budget into that kind of movie, but
You shouldn't get it for Friday the 13th either. Or really any of these except for maybe Green Lantern, which is our last movie. But next, before last, we had my favorite episode in terms of what we did with it, which is we remade Short Circuit, and we actually brought the screenwriter of Short Circuit onto the show, which was always one of the goals of this podcast, was to eventually get some of the original writers to help us remake their movie, which is a pretty cool, yet it's a lot more complicated than people might think it would be to pull off. Because a lot of creators don't want to remake their own movie, you know? Especially not if they're not getting paid.
But what a cool get.
It was a very cool get. What did you think of that episode?
It was great. I mean, S.S. Wilson stopping by? I was impressed.
Yeah.
I don't know what you got. I don't know what you had to pay him. But,
we paid him in Jenny 5 pins, like bling, flare. Yeah. That's what we did. He really liked it. He liked having about 37 pieces of Jenny 5 bling. So it worked out great.
It's great.
Well, we came out with a trailer that starts out a little serious and ends on kind of a Spielberg. That's kind of what we were going with. At the very end of the trailer, it's supposed to emulate Spielberg. Whether that came across or not sure, but that's what we were going for. So here's your trailer for Short Circuit.
In the not-too-distant future, NASA and Dr. Newton Crosby have created the perfect blend of artificial intelligence and military robotics to monitor us all from space. This project, designated Saint, is our future. These robots are immune to error. They don't get happy. They don't get sad. And they never laugh at your jokes. They just run programs. As a series of events in orbit causes Johnny 5 to evolve, a freak malfunction in another of his team causes a near catastrophe. Fear and panic force the government to shut the Saint project down, returning each of the robots from space to be decommissioned. There's only one problem. Johnny 5 is no ordinary scrap metal. Johnny 5 is alive. Diverting from protocol, Johnny 5 tracks down his only friend, Stephanie, an isolated blogger with the knowledge that this robot is much more than just faulty wiring. As the government hunts them down, Johnny must use every glitch in his software to keep them one step ahead as they hunt down Dr. Crosby, the only person on the planet who can convince the world that Johnny 5 is not the global threat that Twitter claims he is. If Crosby can just believe. Scoot to the edge of your seat as we build to an unexpected climax where every choice matters. Summer Glau and Jesse Eisenberg team up with director Ron Underwood for the adventure of a lifetime. Next summer, Johnny 5 is alive. Again.
Yeah.
One more time.
I feel it. I feel it.
Oh, yeah. So would you see that one?
Well, yeah, I would see it. Damn right I would. He had some really good ideas. I mean, obviously it's his creation, so I would hope so. But I feel, I feel bad because he wants to remake it, and he's got a vision for it. And of course, Hollywood, they only want to do it however they want to do it, which isn't very good. So I don't know if his vision will ever come true, but I hope it is, and I hope we get story credit.
Well, I would hope you get like a special thanks at least.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Just like a picture of SS Wills and give us a high five in the credits. That'd be cool.
That'd be hilarious.
I'd be fine with that. Now we've got one movie left, and that is Green Lantern. You were on that episode as well, so why don't you introduce our trailer?
Let's roll the trailer for what has to be the finest cinematic achievement Remake Pictures ever produced.
Okay, you might be getting a little bold on that one, but all right.
I was there. I remember it was pretty spectacular.
Here's your trailer.
Deep in the furthest reaches of the galaxy lie the heroes that stand for us all. The Green Lantern Corps has stood for centuries, protecting us from those who worship evil's might. After a seemingly unrelated attack unveils a nefarious plan by the Manhunters to overthrow the Corps, Hal Jordan enlists the help of John Stewart, his newly acquired student, as well as one of the greatest Green Lanterns of all in Sinestro. Together, they pledge to face the Manhunters and their quest for power head on. Can they save the universe from the greatest threat ever known? Will Sinestro be seduced by ultimate power? Most important, will evil ultimately escape their sight? In 2017, prepare for war as Kenneth Branagh brings you the comic book film guaranteed to erase your memory of Ryan Reynolds and a certain CGI suit. In Brightest Day, in Blackest Night, beware their power. Green Lantern's light.
Yeah, I'd see that movie.
See, does it give you chills?
A little bit. I mean, maybe best one that we've done. I don't know about all that, but I would see it. It was much better than the original Green Lantern was.
I like the trailer reading. Will evil escape their sight? Like, come on, it's cool, man.
It is. It's very reminiscent of, say, Green Lantern, maybe, huh? Yeah?
Embrace that.
Well, now, what do you think, now that we're kind of wrapping up season 1, and like I said, season 2 will be starting in the next few weeks, so keep an eye out for those. Stephen King's It will be the first episode. What do you think of this, Zach? What do you think of this show so far?
It's an awesome concept, and Wayne's really brought it to life. You guys, it's cool, man. It's a cool show. I love doing it. I love listening to it.
Well, that's all we can really hope for. I love doing it. I like listening to it more, honestly. It's always fun to hear those. And if anybody has, as we wrap up this season 1 trailer recap episode, anybody has any movies that they want to hear remade, they want us to tackle them and see if we can remake them right, you can email us at remakethismovieright@gmail.com. It's remakethismovieright@gmail.com. We would love to hear what you guys want to hear. Now, we prefer to stick to movies that are actually being remade. But if there's something big that, you know what, this might be fun for your show, tackle it, send it to us, send us the idea. We'll see if maybe we do that one. You never know. I think we're going to throw a few of those in the mix for season 2, where a couple of the movies just need to be remade. That's what I think we're going to do.
Yeah, spice it up a little, huh?
I think so. I think we're going to, we've got one season in the bag, and we kind of want to open things up a little bit. Just peek through. Just give it a couple tries and see how it works out. I can tease a couple of upcoming episodes. Stephen King's It, Neverending Story. We might take on Scarface. I haven't decided on that one yet. That's
a bold move.
That's a bold one. Say hello to my little friend. Because, it offends everybody. So I don't know if we want to do it. But we'll see what happens. Zach, I want to thank you for joining me for this recap, helping me introduce all these trailers. Thank you. Where can people find you on the Twitter? Or
on the Twitter? I'm a little radio silent. I got a couple irons in the fire. You guys will hear from me soon. Don't you worry.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
tease of things to come.
You will definitely be on another episode here in the near future for season 2. So keep an ear on that. And that's going to do it. My name is Aaron Peterson. Thanks again for listening. Remember, Wayne Henderson, MediaVoiceovers.com. Want to make sure everybody checks him out. He also does Packers Fan Podcast. And he's just a phenomenal guy and a phenomenal talent. If you happen to be in the need of a voiceover artist, he's definitely the guy to call. We do have a Remake This Movie Facebook group, not just for fans of the shows, for anybody who likes to talk about movies and TV, as well as the Hollywood Outsider has its Facebook group. That's where probably the majority of people go, so check either one of those out. And we're on Twitter at Remake Right. That's at Remake Right. And the website, once again, RemakeThisMovieRight.com. Please tell your friends. If you like the show, if you really like the concept and everything else, we're still trying to grow. We're in its infancy. We really need all the help we can to get the word out on the concept and the show itself. Please tell your friends, share on your social media sites, whatever you do. That's going to do it for this episode of Remake This Movie Right. You want to
Thanks,
take
Aaron,
us
for
out?
having me on the season finale. By the way, I just want to throw that out there.
Oh, thanks for coming on. You want to take us out with our little out
Sure.
phrase?
Real quick, Tarantino will be in touch about Tomb Raider. And also, in the next movie you watch, remember that it will get a remake someday, and only you can make it better.
Tarantino's not going to be in touch, is he?
I wouldn't like sit by the phone.
Take care, guys.